Anything else? They don't make decisions.
Very good. I like it. I don't know. Probably not. It'll be okay.
As an example, I bring up on the
Recording in progress.
Question. How do I eat up the chicken? Do I do it in the microwave or?
I would do it in the microwave, put a paper towel over it, damp, heat it up when
Okay.
serving it.
Yeah.
Recording in
What we got? Already got 84. Good afternoon, everybody. It'll be evening here in a couple of minutes. Hope everybody's doing well. I see we've still got how much time to start? A couple minutes. All right, let's see who we got with us tonight. I see Dr. Hamilton's here, Dr. Robin Hamilton. Some of you be in her class, or she'll be coaching you. She's 601. Dr. Danny Stedman is here. He's the leader of the 601 group. Let's see who else we've got here. Go to the next page here. There's Dr. Stone is here, Dr. Maraglia. You won't have Dr. Stone yet. He may make a visit with you virtually for CC1, but he'll teach you in 605. And there's Dr. Maraglia. She'll teach you in 603. And Dr. Caton, you'll have her in 603. She's high school principal down at Aden-Grifton in Pitt County. Dr. Maraglia is in Charlotte-Mecklenburg. Let's see. Who else have we got here? We got 4 pages tonight. Oh, we got a lot of folks. I'm sure we've got other faculty.
My class is about to start. Yeah. I'll talk to you later. All right.
James Holt, are you here? There you are. And you're at Irwin?
Yes, I am. Sorry, mine wouldn't go off mute.
You're fine. And your dad is Mike?
No, I am not related to them. I do know Jessica and all the Holts over there. I do know them.
You know them. I just wondered if you were related to them.
No,
Um,
sir.
But you're familiar with that, but no, it's a small world.
Oh,
Glad
yes,
to
very
have you.
small
We've
over
got
here.
a couple of folks from Irwin right now. So Cammie's with us. Isn't she at Irwin?
She
Catherine
was,
Silver.
yes, yes.
Yep, we had Dr. Maraglia and Dr. Caton and I had her group this summer. So we're glad to be back in that part of the world. Thank you. All right, I see you at 7 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and get started. Welcome. This is the MELS 601, both masters and add-on town hall for new students. Welcome. I've introduced the faculty that's here. I'm sure there are others here as well. So first thing I want to do is go over the, and share my screen and we'll get started. Okay. Look at the fall schedule. So here's the fall schedule on the spreadsheet. Dr. Stedman has the 602, has the 601 C2 add-on. Dr. Revis has 4, Dr. Hamilton, Dr. Crawford, Stedman, and Revis, and they coach their own. The master group, Dr. Jeff Church, who's Associate Superintendent in Caldwell County, and Dr. Barbara Todd, who is retired superintendent from Yadkin County, will be your instructors. Dr. Joe Bullis, who is in the central office, will be your coach. And you can see some of the other folks. So you should be able to get into your Blackboard shell now. Let me go ahead and close that. And I'll walk you into Blackboard if you've not been in. When you sign in to Gardner Web, you just gardnerweb.edu. This is what comes up. Go to the hashtags up here on the far right. Click on that button and go to Web Connect. And that will take you to the main menu. Here's your menu here. You can drag your favorites up here to the top. Go to Blackboard. And under My Courses, you should be able to find your course. So we'll pick Dr. Stedman's C2 group. Let's see if we can find it. And so this is what your class shell will look like. And you'll have your course overview, meet your instructor. You'll have your week. You'll have by week. You can pert in. Let me go in and mute everybody while I'm thinking about it. Okay. And so this is your class shell that has all the things in it that you're going to need for the entire semester when you're going to meet those things. Now, one of the first questions I have from folks is this is an online program. Do we have to meet every week? You don't have to, but I would highly recommend that you set aside the time every week to meet with your group live if possible. Now, all sessions are recorded and will be posted later that evening, but it's advantageous to attend both your weekly class section, usually on Tuesday night, and your coaching session on Thursday night. Now, I will be working with the add-on. So somebody has not gotten in. Don't know who emailed me. So that's the first thing. Let me stop my share and go back here. That's the first thing is class attendance. If you don't come to the live sessions, you need to watch the recorded videos every week. Now, folks are going to turn your work around. You're going to have assignments. This is not a correspondence course or any of that where you just work. We stay engaged all the time. You have weekly classes. You have weekly coaching sessions. Your first coaching sessions will be about how to use the Blackboard shell, about your evidence work, your portfolio in task stream for both South Carolina and North Carolina, South Carolina Department of Ed, North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. You have to submit that portfolio for licensure. You also have to take an exam Now, South Carolina has had to take the exam 5412 praxis all along. North Carolina is putting it back in for the fall, so you will have to take an exam at the end, but don't worry. If you get through MELS, the exam will be a cakewalk. It will be a walk in the park if you get through this program, and we will get you through this program. Our on-time completion rate is 94%. We're very proud of that. And so if you will put the time in, we will get you through. We have a person that visits with you virtually. You have an instructor. You have a coach that works with you individually on your TaskStream account to get your portfolio ready. We will not let you fail. We will not let you put work in TaskStream that won't pass state assessments. We will tell you when it's ready to go, and we will tell you when it's not ready to go. You'll do all of your evidence work in Blackboard. When it's ready to go, we'll put it in TaskStream and get it graded by the state assessors. Now, your TaskStream accounts are not available yet. Some of you were talking about that. That's simply because we can't purchase those until after drop add. Now, the DRFs are already, I'll show you that. Let me share my screen. I've already got you set up. I've just got to drop you in as soon as your account is purchased. You will go right in this shell. As you can see, this is the add-on shell. Here are all the things that have to be done. You'll have to complete over the course of your program. You have one DRF shell, and you will work on all of your evidences, your competency folio, all of those things. We'll teach you all of that. I'll do that with you in about 3 weeks when after drop add and when we get your licenses purchased. Of course, you have to pay for those, but we have to wait till drop add and purchase those. We'll put you in TaskStream, and you will only use it to upload your work at the end when you completed each of the evidences. You will have a competency folio that'll look something like this that you will develop with artifacts. That's the things that you do, that you attach, screenshots, videos, pictures. You will have an artifact folio that matches the competencies, the 21 administrative competencies, national competencies. We will teach you, or I will teach you how to, the shell is already in there, how to design your own and personalize it. And the reason why we have you do it separately, it will go into your DRF at the end and will get assessed by the state, but we do it separately so that you have control over it. And the best thing about this folio is that you can send it to a prospective employer in the end. I will do an in-depth interviewing session with you a little further along in the program to get you ready for any of the 4 AP interview types that you will have. We will prepare you for your interview. We will get you a folio of work that is impressive to an employer. We will have you ready to pass the exam. This is a one-stop shop. We do it all. You get your coursework, you get your licensure, you get all these things, and we give you a leg up on getting jobs with interview skills and knowing what that's going to be, having a folio of your work, just like you go on a job interview, you take samples of your work, you're going to have all of those things. You get in this program for 2 reasons. Number one, to get out before you're as old as me. And secondly, just to get a job. That's what we want. And we want you to be able to do well in that job. Our performance data is the best in either North or South Carolina in terms of when you get your job, how well you're ranked in your job. There's a reason why. I'm not going to pull your leg and tell you that this is easy or fun or quick. It's going to take 20 hours a week, folks. You have to commit 20 hours every week. You may have to do some life rearrangement. It's going to take 20 hours a week between class and working with your Zoom groups on peer reviews and case studies and those kinds of things, and coaching sessions and doing your clinical work at your school, 80 hours of that each semester, where you have a list of suggested activities that you do at your school for your clinical hours with your school administrative staff. Between all of those things and writing those evidences, which are quite long and involved, it's about 20 hours a week every week from the time you start to the time you finish. Those of you in the add-on program, you will go fall, spring, summer. You'll be through August 1 this coming in 2022. 3 semesters in and out. It's a whirlwind. And the master students, you'll be through in 5 semesters. So you'll go fall, spring, summer, fall, spring. We don't take summers off. We do 10-week session in the summer. We do not decrease the workload in the summer, we just catch another gear. You finish faster, you come out prepared, you'll pass your exam, you'll pass your portfolio, you'll get your license, we'll give you a leg up on getting jobs. We're serious about this. We do this for a living. We want the best and the brightest. We want you to be serious about it as well. You got to make the time commitment in order to get it in. You're spending a lot of money in this program. We want you to get value for your dollars. So again, you should be able to get into your Blackboard shell, your courses now. You will not be able to get into TaskStream for a couple of weeks until we purchase your license to get you in there. It's about $159. And so we have to be sure that you're going to stay with us before the university will purchase those. I will be on and do sessions with you. Dr. Bullis will do sessions with the master's folks. We will teach you all about TaskStream, so don't worry about that. It will go well. Hopefully you can all use Zoom. We'll teach you how to do Zoom accounts. If you don't know how to do a Zoom account, the free one should be fine. If you want to do more than 40 minutes at a time, you'll have to purchase a pro account, but you get the free account will give you up to 40 minutes. So, and we'll teach you how to process your videos, upload them to YouTube. You'll need to create your own YouTube channel. You do that with a Gmail account, free from Google. That will allow you to establish an account. So when you do something, you can process your video and upload it, and then send the link. We don't upload videos in TaskStream or Blackboard because of storage. We put live links in, so it works fine. So that's kind of that piece of it. Let's look at the two handbooks quickly that I emailed you that you're going to need when you do your virtual visit with your visitor. You have a CC1, that's the Clinical Coach 1, that makes a virtual visit. Prior to COVID, we made those in person, but that person lives in your area, works with us, and we'll do virtual visits until we can see further. We're going to do those again this fall, and wants to do an hour visit with you. So check your email, your Garden Web email every day, and respond back to your coach. They've already sent out notices trying to schedule visits with you. Make sure that you respond back to them. You and your site supervisor at your building, your assistant principal or your principal, whoever is supervising your clinical internship there, needs to meet with this person. Now, the principal only needs to meet about 10 minutes, and then you'll do the rest of the session. And this person will work with you and talk with you, and they're in your area. They can help you. And then that they just make that visit. In your class, you have a clinical coach too that's paired with you that will work with you specifically on your TaskStream portfolio evidences. That person supports you and works with you individually. You have your instructor, you have your coaches, then you have a separate state evaluator. Then you have me, who will help you with technology, and any problems that you have, you call or email. I always answer my phone.
How do you know who your coaches are? I didn't
They're
get
paired
an email.
with your class. Your CC1 is proximal. So if you're in the eastern part of the state, northeastern part of the state, you'll have Mr. Ramsey. If you're in the 85 corridor, you'll have Mr. Marie. If you're in the Fayetteville area, you'll have Dr. Stedman. If you're in the western part of the state, you will have Dr. Revis. If you're somewhere in the Charlotte region, you'll have Dr. Talent. They will contact you. All they do is your visit. The coach that works with you is paired with your class. And let me go back. That's a good question. Let me go back again to that. Let me share my screen again. So here are your coaches.
I'm in South Carolina, so I would assume my area would be the Charlotte region.
Well, where are you in South Carolina?
Rock Hill.
Oh, yeah, you'll be Charlotte region. You'll have Dr. Talent. She'll get in touch with you. She's already sent out a notice, so I won't need to do that.
She's the coach 1 or the coach 2?
2. She's coach 1 for you. She will make your virtual visit. Your coach 1 makes the virtual visit, and then let me see it out. Yeah, I X'd out of that. Let me pull this up right quick.
Dr. Lamb, if they have not heard from their clinical coaches 1 by tomorrow, they need to let their instructors know so we can find out, because there could be a problem and we'll take care of the problem. So Kayla, if you haven't heard anything by tomorrow, just let your instructor know, and any of the others let us know by
Yeah.
tomorrow night.
If you haven't heard from your visitor, your CC1. Now, the person that works with you on your portfolio is paired with your entire class. And so you can see if your instructor for C2 is Dr. Stedman, Dr. Revis will be your coach. And it's just the reverse if you're in C4. If you're a master, if you're a master student, Dr. Bullis is your coach that coaches your portfolio. But again, and now if you're along the coast of South Carolina, Dr. Rachel Zantz will be your visitor. Let's just call that person your visitor. They'll do a virtual visit. But if you haven't heard from your visitor by the time of the first class, you need to let your instructor know, and we'll get on that immediately. We'd like to get those visits done in the first 3 weeks so that everybody knows what your responsibilities are. So let me pull that up, because you're going to have a list of activities that you need to do at your school site. And so let me pull up, let's see what I've got here. So I sent you the site supervisor handbook. It's the same as the clinical handbook. And in this, it explains the program to your principal, what the expectations are, and this is for you as well. They have to sign your internship log. You keep a log of the hours for your 80 clinical hours. Everybody has to do 80 every semester. You can't bank hours. You can't do 160 in the fall and take the spring off. You got to have a minimum of 80 every semester. That's a state licensing requirement. And here are the suggested activities. I would suggest that you and your principal look at this and determine when you can do these things. And if COVID continues to go at the rate it is, if we have to go back virtual again, we also have a list of activities that you can do to get your hours while you're virtual. So we experience no disruption in the force during the 4 previous semesters that, let's see, spring, summer, fall, spring, summer. Previous 5 semesters we've been dealing with COVID. Everybody has still finished on time. One way or the other, you can either do, if you're in school, you can do these activities. If you're not, if you're virtual, you can do these activities to get your hours. But you and your administrator need to sit down and look at these requirements. And here again is, you track them on a simple spreadsheet like this. The only thing your principal has to do is sign off at the end of the semester that they verify you did your 80 hours. You keep your log, and that's all they have to do. They don't have to go in task stream and do any work. They don't have to read your evidences or any of that stuff. They don't have to be involved in your portfolio. They just have to sign off on your hours. And we've hired people, again, to explain the program, to coach your work, and to teach you. We have people that do all those things. Can you do some virtual activities even if you're in person? That's a good question. As long as your principal signs off of it, it will tickle me pink. That'll be fine. Remember, your principal is the one that you got to satisfy on those hours. Now, let me go back to that again, and I want to make this clear. Dr. Stedman and I had a student in the past, been a long time ago. His name was George. And we liked George a lot. And George was down in Williams Township, kind of halfway between Whiteville and Conway, South Carolina. And when I went down and visited him at the end, you can see we have these activities divided into 3 areas: leadership opportunities, big long list, supervision, small list, and then technology. And when I went down and visited George, 384 of his 400 hours were bus duty supervision. That will be a problem. You should do your activities kind of in this ratio. 60% of what you should do should be leadership, about 30% should be technology, and about 10% bus duty and supervision. I mean, I tell the story. I mean, once you have figured out bus duty, and there's only 2 things to remember. Number 1, don't get run over. And number 2, wear a coat long enough to cover you behind in wintertime so you don't freeze to death. Once you figure those 2 things out, you probably got bus duty whipped. So I don't want to see 40 or 50 hours of bus duty out of your 80 every semester, or 60, whatever, about 10 hours, 12 hours on your 80 is enough. Do some things that would lead you to get a job. I mean, we can hire people to do bus duty and pay them minimum wage. You need to learn supervision, but you know, let's not go overboard on bus duty and car rider duty and that kind of thing, haul duty. Being on yard guard won't get you a job as an AP. Those leadership activities and technical activities will. Leadership is teaching you to be a leader. The technical is you need a skill set to be an AP. AP isn't tech list. Assistant principal is a technician level job. You've got to have skills. If you don't, you won't last very long. Dr. Robin Hamilton's here tonight. Dr. Hamilton and I started a long time ago. We had an intern. I had an intern in Caldwell that moved down to Wilmington, and then Dr. Hamilton hired her as an AP and went through the process, and Rummy Wheeler, and she just got a principal job in New Hanover, and we're so excited. But Dr. Hamilton can tell you, you know, she's just hired another AP. She's got to have somebody with skills. Dr. Hamilton, I'll let you speak to that quickly.
Well, I think we need someone with skills who, when you're getting your internship, I just think it's important that you're getting a wide variety of experiences. Like Dr. Lamb said, we can pretty much put anybody on a supervisory skill. You just tell them what to supervise and what to do, and basically don't get run over by the bus, and you're good. But you really need someone who has people skills, those soft skills, and Dr. Lamb will talk to you about soft skills when he talks to you eventually about interviewing. Those dispositional skills that you need, someone who can be a problem solver. You need a wide variety of every experience, and anybody can do bus duty for all intents and purposes, really and truly. So you need to make sure that you're getting those experiences that the typical person may not be able to get. And really that's going to be with you establishing that relationship with your supervisor, your principal in your building who's supervising you, and really establishing that trusting, confidential relationship with them so that they will bring you into that fold and really let you have those experiences of what it really takes to be an effective instructional, managerial, situational leader.
Thank you, Dr. Hamilton. So the question is, out of your 80, at least 50 ought to be leadership, and 20 or more technical, and 10 or less supervision. The technical is like EVOS, Power School. Now I know you've all seen Power School because you from the teacher portal, but the administrative portal in Power School is about 100 times more intense and longer and got a lot more modules in it. You need to you need to get certified to do teacher observations in your district. There's a lot of technical things that you need skills to be able to do, and you need your soft skills, your dispositional behaviors. I'm honest, I'm trustworthy, I'm self-aware, I can communicate, I can solve conflicts, those kinds of soft skills that we'll talk about later. You develop those during the time that you're an intern. You think that you've done that, as a teacher, and you have developed, and some of you've already moved into roles beyond teaching, but you've got to make sure that you bring those skills forward. That's what's going to get you a job. How to deal with conflict. I mean, conflict is the life of the school administrator. Now, I know there are plenty of times when I wanted to be able to say to a parent, the problem with your kid is he's an idiot and it's hereditary. But you can't say that to folks. It kind of makes them angry when you say things like that. You have to learn to be more tactful than that. It pains me that I can't do that, but you have to learn some of these skills. So you've got your clinical is about skill development. It's on the job training. That's how you get experience without having experience. You have a unique opportunity here to actually gain experience as an administrator before you get hired. And so people say, well, I can't get hired without experience. Well, this is your opportunity to get experience. You need to take full advantage. That's why I said 20 hours a week. You need to take full advantage of all the opportunities to learn how to write evidences, to collect artifacts. You're going to need that when you become an administrator, because guess how you're evaluated as an administrator? On the strength of how well you can write the evidence of what you did and display the artifacts that you generated from the work that you did. That's how you're evaluated as an administrator. Now, I will not claim that Gardner-Webb graduates are better administrators. I will claim they're better at understanding the evaluation system because that's what the data tells us. Our folks in the two highest categories ratings for administrators are significantly above the state average in all 5 of the standards that they're evaluated on. We're the only college in North or South Carolina that can say that. There is a reason why, because we hammer you with evidence and artifacts. You have to understand what the difference is and how to go about doing those. So we'll do that piece and we'll get you ready for the exam. But the on-the-job training piece, you've got to go out and get it. You've got that. That's your clinical internship at your school. That's where you really pick up the job skills that you're going to need to impress somebody to get a job.
Dr. Lamb, the question was how many hours in leadership required?
50. 50. All right. So again, you got this handbook. It came in the email. Your coach will send you this. The companion is the site supervisor handbook. It's the same thing. It's just got their name on it. And you can share this with them so that you can look at these activities. I think we're good on that. So let's look at our agenda and see what we've got. So your requirements for this semester in 601, if you're a regular 5 semesters master's program, you've got all your Blackboard coursework per your instructor to include your discussion boards, assignment, case study, and peer reviews. The app cell is due in task stream at the end of the class. That is the evidence that goes in your DRF task stream portfolio this semester. You also have to do your competency analysis. That's just a copy and paste from task 5 of the app cell. And you have to self-assess yourself on your dispositional behaviors. Now, we're going to tell you right now, if you assess yourself at an accomplished level in 601, that's fine, but you have to write a narrative to tell us why you think that you're accomplished before you even start the program or before you get too far. Generally, we'll buy that you're proficient. We hope you are. And we may even buy that you're accomplished, but you have to, if you rate yourself at proficient or below, you just have to rate yourself. If you rate yourself on any of these dispositional behaviors at accomplished, you have to tell us why you believe you are. And then you have to have 12 artifacts to put in your competency folio that prove the work that you did this semester. And so that's what master students have to do this semester. Add-on licensure folks in the 3-semester program, again, you have to do 601 Blackboard coursework, discussion boards, assignments, case studies, peer reviews. You have to do 2 evidences. You have to do both the AppTel and the AppCell this semester. You have 2 that are due by the end of the semester. That's why I said 20 hours. You're going to have to strap it on. And then you have to do your competency analysis and dispositions as well in task stream. And you have to do 21 artifacts. You have to do a whole round of 21 of the artifacts that go in your competency folio. That's things that you generate. Now, we have lists that show you where you get those from. Everything is linked together. From doing the AppCell and the AppTel, we'll tell you exactly what artifacts are generated. From doing open-ended, we'll show you where those artifacts are. Artifacts are things that are generated from the work that you've done. And here's a brief explanation of the 601 coaching process. You have a CC1 that makes your visit. The CC2, the clinical coach 2, is paired with your class and coaches your work. Remember, the CC1 just makes your visit. And here is the operational definition of those. And then finally, you will have a state assessor that assesses your work in task stream. It is double blind. They don't know who you are. You won't know who they are. They won't teach or coach you. They are a separate category of folks that are hired simply to assess your work. And for it to be as valid and reliable as possible, they won't know you. They won't know if you're a good, bad, or indifferent person. They will simply assess your work based on the merits of your work. But now our MELS staff knows what they're looking for, and they'll give you helpful hints, and they'll tell you, yes, this is ready to go, or no, that might as well have been written in crayon. That won't pass. They'll tell you those things. And you need to listen to them, because they're not going to steer you wrong. They're not going to let you put work in that's going to get sent back for revision. Now, when work gets sent back, 99% of the time it's because you uploaded the wrong file. You put a draft file up that didn't have all the pieces in it. And so, but from time to time, we do get one, and they get back. Now, if your work gets sent back for revision, your clinical coach too will work with you to revise it to get it ready to be put back in.
Dr. Lamb, would you address, when you get a chance, the question came up about the North Carolina licensure that has just been reinstated, is showing on the GWU website, so that will have to be removed. But would you explain to them, and when we get more information about it, we will provide them more information as
Right.
well.
You'll have to take either 6690 or 5412. The practice are the same thing. We train you for the 5412, which is the which we've been doing already. All those things are embedded in your evidence work. You will not have a trouble passing your exam. But yes, we were notified by DPI a couple of months ago that the exam was coming back, and they didn't say maybe, they said it was coming back. So we're going to go ahead, but it doesn't change anything for us. We train you the same way already, because over half of our students were already taking the praxis. All of our doctoral add-ons have to take it. All of our CNI folks have to take it for CNI, and all the South Carolina folks were already having to take it anyway. So 60% of the folks in our classes were already taking the praxis. So we already had a plan in place, and we're already covering all those things. And so it's just, the only thing it changes is North Carolina people will have to take it. That a few that weren't having to take it before will have to take it now. It's not a big deal. It doesn't cost that much. Doesn't take that long. You will breeze right through it. You will not have a problem. If there is a problem, your coach again will work with you to get you through that exam if that's what it takes. So,
We've never had a South Carolina person, and we've never had one of them not to pass it.
100% for the last 7 or 8 years since they've had to take it. We're 100%. We've never had one not pass it. Never. Don't be the first one. Pay attention. Go to class. Learn something along the way, and you'll be fine. Here on campus out near the tennis courts, my favorite sign in the world, it says pay attention. It's a 3-way intersection. So
Who is it that you're saying if we haven't heard from by
CC1,
tomorrow? Okay, who
CC1,
is
your
that though?
visit.
I didn't get who that was.
Where do you, again, it goes by where you live.
Rock Hill.
Rock Hill, Dr. Talent.
And
Dr.
Dr.
Talent
Lamb,
will be in touch with you.
you may want to remind everybody too, they need to go to the Gardner Webb University email, because that's where all their emails are coming to them.
Dr. Talent will be in touch with you. She will do your virtual visit. I think she's not, I didn't see her now. I think she's in class tonight. Now there she is. There's Dr. Talent. There she is. And so she'll be in touch with you. She's with us tonight. But again, as Dr. Stone said, check your Gardner Webb email daily. You'll be getting a lot of things from us. So make sure that you do that. All right, I've covered the agenda. This is just, hopefully that you can use Zoom without hurting yourself. If you can get online tonight, you can get in, make sure you can get in your class shell and see the course that you're in. You will have a companion internship shell, but you can work with your coach separately. It will have their name on it. You don't have it yet. You will have it in a day or two. You have one that just says 697 or 698 that doesn't have anything in it. We don't use those. You'll get one that has your name and is specific to your coach, so they can work with you individually. You'll be getting that shell in probably tomorrow or Wednesday, according to how long we're in convocation tomorrow. But you will be getting those. Those don't open up until after classes open up. They don't open until then. So that's it. So we have one that says there's no link for my Tuesday class in Blackboard. What class is that?
It is the Dr. Stedman's class.
Okay, yeah, it's in there. Let me share my screen. Let's go there and show you where we might see it.
It's in multiple places.
Let me do this. I'm having to go in and out of share tonight. My link is not very strong tonight for some reason. All right, and so once you go to Blackboard, and this is Dr. Stedman's, let's see, over here on the left, the weekly class schedule. Right here, as soon as you click on that, you see it says Tuesdays. Right there is the Zoom link, and then Thursday for coaching, there is the Zoom link.
And it's the same link every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday and every Thursday. It's right there under it says weekly class schedule. And
What is the Thursday? Like, is that gonna be
Coaching.
reoccurring and we set it up?
No, it will be standard. The first 4 weeks will be standard. We'll be covering all the things that you need to learn. And then it will be about every other week after that. But I would set aside the first 4 weeks because we have things that you need to learn on the coaching that, we do classes for an hour, we cover content. Then coaching, we cover the back office stuff, how to use this and how to do that. But we're only on for an hour. We limit ourselves to an hour, and they do content with you on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. We do how-to kind of things, and then more from that into how to do your evidences. So, but now they won't meet every week on Thursday. They do the first 4 and then about every other week after that. Dr. Stedman, you want to speak to that?
Actually, it's the first 3, and we decide whether we meet the first 4, but the first 3 are givens.
Yeah.
So we will be meeting the first 3 weeks, and it's vitally important. I will tell you, everything, it's going to appear overwhelming to begin with, but you've got to realize we're going over the next 3 weeks, we're going to begin breaking this down step by step by step. That's why it's vitally important for you to be with us if at all possible. We've got large groups will be coming on. We're going to ask you to be, you're going to have lots of questions, write them down. We will have time at the end of our class that we will open it up, and anything that we have not covered, we will allow you to ask those questions then, because some people may want to just go ahead and sign off because they don't have any questions. But this will allow us as instructors to cover everything that we need to cover. You write your questions down, and then at the end of our class, we will open it up and we'll stay on there however long we have to stay on there to make sure that your questions are answered. But if you've got to give us those first 3 weeks, and you can't give up, because if you do, you signed up for this program because you wanted to do something differently. You've got to hang in there, and you can't say, I can't do this. This is too much. Give us those first 3 weeks, and after that, you will see where all of this starts to come together, and you'll understand, and you'll remember this night, and you'll say, that's what Dr. Stedman said. I promise you, if you'll hang in there with us and do what we ask you, you will be able to do this. It's a lot, but you've signed up for it, and we're going to help you get there.
I feel like I can do it. I'm so lost on like figuring out what I need to do and when. I'm just kind of lost.
A lot of that, Kayla, will be explained, when your classes start tomorrow night and then on Thursday. I think you'll understand that a lot better then. And then if necessary, it's okay. You can ask to speak to your instructor one-on-one or your coach one-on-one beyond that if that's necessary.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Dr. Lamb, excuse me, would you share your screen again, and you can go to anyone's shell back to Dr. Stedman's if you still have it pulled up, and just show them where the syllabus is on there. Some people are typing in the chat about that. Down on the left right there, and it starts with MELS 601 syllabus, so that may have made it easy to overlook because it doesn't just say syllabus. So there we go. Thank you. And then the Tuesday and Thursday evenings do start at 7, just like tonight did, to answer that question.
We always meet at 7, let you get home from work, get the kids fed and yourself fed and maybe decompress for a minute. But But over here on the left in your class shell is your main menu with everything you're going to need. Your syllabus is here, your weekly schedule, your Zoom teams, your handbooks, all the things, the MELS handbook, the clinical handbooks, all those things are here. Case study materials, peer review materials, your task and the prompt for your evidence that we'll be covering on Thursday night, how to do your first evidence, or the only one for the master's people. All those things are in your shell. Take some time and work through all these things and open all of them up and see. But you will feel overwhelmed until you meet tomorrow night, and you may feel that way again. But if you'll hang with it the first, after six meetings with us, you'll be fine.
Can I ask? I have one.
Dr. Lamb, if I may, because we get some questions concerning Dr. Church and Dr. Todd's class. My name is Joe Bullis. I'll be your clinical coach too, if you're in those courses. Dr. Church, he isn't with us tonight. He's an assistant superintendent, and he is rearranged to meet on Wednesday night. So he will be meeting with you on Wednesday night, and his time will vary a little bit. I think he's scheduled to be on at 6.
Right.
And I'll be joining Dr. Church and Dr. Todd. I'll be joining those classes the first couple of weeks. So we'll team teach those, if you will. And then beginning September 9th, we'll start the clinical coach 2 sessions on Thursdays at 7.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Lamb.
Thank you. Now, remembering, I've been talking about the add-on folks because basically the add-on folks, I don't have this problem other than on my face. Your hair's on fire. You got to do this whole program in 3 semesters and all the same portfolio that the master's people do in 5. So their pace is a lot more genteel. They don't have to meet quite as much or quite as often. Their times vary because again, we have to really grind it out for the add-on because you're doing 6 semesters work in 3, what you're doing. And so that's one of the beauties of this program is we get you in and out in 1 year as opposed to 2. So that's why we meet more often and we have a set time. Again, the master's program, you only have to do 1 evidence. You don't have as much to do. You will eventually get to all of it in 5 semesters, but they don't meet as much to start with. You've only got 1 evidence the first time. They meet, their times vary a little bit more. It's a little bit looser. We have to really tighten down in the add-on because we've got to get two semesters worth of work out of you this fall. That's just the way it works. But the beauty is you get done in 1 year. I mean, next year at this time, you could be sitting in a new job. We have a lot of folks, 1 year later, their life has changed. They're in a new career 1 year later, especially some of these who are already out of the classroom. 1 year later, your life has changed. You're on a new path. And that's the notion here. And we want you to be done next August 1st. We want you to start interviewing next summer. We'll do sessions with you to get you prepared for those. We want you interviewing next summer for jobs for the fall. You've made this commitment. You want to move on in your career. We want to help you with that. We want to accelerate you into that. We have a lot of folks that 1 year later, they're sitting in new jobs. And so that's why it's a lot more for the add-ons in terms of the master's folks will do the same things eventually. They just have another year to do it. When people say that's an awful lot, yeah, it is. It really is an awful lot. That is true. That is
Dr.
true.
Lamb, I would encourage, Dr. Lamb has already said that there's a commitment to this program over the next 3 semesters. I would go ahead, you need to go ahead and talk to your families and let them know that you're not doing this just for you, you're doing this for your family as well. So, they've got to buy into this as well. So your spouse, significant others, your children, everybody's got to, to build support in this. So I would sit down and I would have, some family time, and I would talk with them about the importance of, of this, because you're going to need your a long time to be able to get some of this work done. So, now's the time to go ahead and do that, because once we start tomorrow, this week, we hit the road running.
Yeah, it's going to be hang on to your hat.
Where
And
can I find those, that page about the activities you could do at school?
it's in your clinical handbook. I sent it in the
Oh,
email
sorry.
reminder tonight, and in your class shell under handbooks. It's in your clinical shell. It's in
Okay,
it's in the clinical handbook, the site supervisor handbook. You should be able to see those kinds of things. Now, in terms of your family, we all understand that you will be working mostly nights and weekends and holidays. We are available. We understand that. You work during the day. So it's hard for you to do a lot of this work during your regular day because you're going to have a regular job. You won't hurt our feelings if you email us at night. I'm off the air from 12:30 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. Other than that, I am available. You may call, you may email. Give me those 4 hours to pretend to sleep. But other than that, we're with you. We turn your work over every day. We grade every day. We turn your work over. We get back to you. And so that's it. Do you have a oral interview comps at the end? No, you have your portfolio. Now you have to do a final project that's an oral project and PowerPoint for Dr. Stone in 605. You will have to do that, but it won't be a formal exam. Your portfolio stands as the final exam in the MELS program. You have to have that completed task string portfolio. But now, yes, there is a comprehensive project at the end that Dr. Stone will do with you. Dr. Stone, you want to speak to your comprehensive project at the end of 605?
Let me just sort of tease them to just, it's something that you're going to enjoy, but it is also something that's going to be very useful to you and very practical that should help you in your job. We're going to be looking at the digital competency standards. We're also going to be looking at those standards that North Carolina evaluates its administrators by. So when you're sitting across from your evaluator, it's really helpful to know what is valued and what are they looking at. So by the time you finish 605, we're going to have some group work. We're going to have some great opportunities, but you're going to breathe a sigh of relief. And just to piggyback on something that the others have said, it's a lot at the beginning and it's a lot of commitment from you, but I promise you, if you stick with it, you will be well prepared, and that's our job to get you there. But you'll appreciate how we prepare you for the practical aspect of stepping into that office.
Question is if you're coaching and you can't come into, no, there's no penalty for not coming to class live, but you got to watch the videos. The videos will be posted later. We don't make you come and we don't set and take roll off the screen. And give and penalize you. But now if you don't watch the videos, you won't know what to do and you won't get the information. So no, if you've got a commitment that carries you through to 7:30, you might catch the end of class, but you can always watch the video. Always watch the video. But Dr. Stone is correct. They do a project with you at the end that you really enjoy that will help you on the standards that you're going to be evaluated on. But we don't have an oral. But now the final exam, of course, is you must complete the portfolio. Without that, you can't get a license, whether you're in masters or whether you're in add-on, doesn't matter. You must complete that task string portfolio, and you have to take that written practice exam as well. You got to have both of those. It's a lot to get licensed as an administrator. At what point are you prepared? We tell folks that once you pass 603, you should be able to pass the praxis. You can take it early in 605.
What's 603? What's that class?
Law and finance. 601 is your instructional module. You learn about PLCs and those kinds of things. You learn about that piece. 602 is assessment. Now, add-ons don't have to take 602. Masters, 602 is assessment. 603 everybody takes is law and finance. That's with me and my group. 604 is curriculum. If you're masters, you have to take it. If you're add-on, you don't take 604. And then 605, everybody takes is leadership. and you learn all about the standards, about how you're going to be evaluated. You self-assess your leadership abilities. It's a personal growth semester. Now, in terms of content, 601 should be fairly simple because it's things you've done as a teacher. 602 assessment's going to get a little bit, it's going to get a little difficult. You have to take that. The master students have already had an assessment class. That's why they don't have to take it. Law and finance is going to be the one that is, students tend to dread the most, but like it, but also tend to like it. Case studies, especially, you've got to dig and do your casework and, find your precedent. We don't sit and write. We don't sit and write legal briefs. That's 40 years ago. It's very practical. And so second semester is 603 add-ons, third semester is 605. All these things, you get all your content, you get all the knowledge, you get that. But again, it's very practical on how to. We're interested in how well your performance is going to be when you getting you a job and then performing in that job.
Dr. Lamb,
So,
I think some people have already, maybe their administrators already knew they would have to have some internship requirements, and they've already given them some opportunities, especially those in year-round schools. How far back for this, what would be the date that would be the start date for internship hours?
July 1st.
Okay, thank you.
July 1st is the new fiscal year, so we'll let you go back to July 1st. The things that you've done setting up for the year, if you're in year-round or if you are part of the team that set up for school, you can go back to July 1st on your hours. But again, you can't bank hours. Let me be clear on that again. We have some students who say, well, I'm going to be doing this in the spring, and so I'm going to get 160 in the fall. You can get 160. We appreciate that. Still got to do 80 in the spring. That's a state licensure requirement that you get 80 hours every semester that you're in the program. Summers as well, and summers will strain you. It will strain you. So the question is it 20-hour a week commitment for the master students? Probably more like 15, 16 hours for you folks. Because you're only going to do one evidence. And so probably, it probably averages out to 14, 15, 16 hours a week for you. Add-on licensure people, it's 20 hours every week. And when I say every week, I mean every week. We'll let you off a little bit for Christmas, but not too much. You got to get after it. You need to have that critical conversation with your family and too about, I'm making this decision for you. I'm spending a bunch of money. And so I need to have the time that it's going to take. And you can't take it away from your job. I mean, you still got to do your job every day. So it's going to come out of that personal end, unfortunately. And again, we understand it's nights and weekends. And so we'll take your calls. We'll answer your emails. We'll get back to you. We'll turn your work over. Now, when it goes to task stream, it'll be graded. The assessor will get back to you in 24 to 36 hours on it as well. And so you'll know if you passed or not, that evidence, and you'll be moving on to your next one. And so that's it. So who would I address my questions to? I saw that pop up in the chat. Let's see. Me. Jacqueline, the question, it's me. You address those to me. You simply sent me an email, and I could tell you, I'll do an audit and tell you what you need to do. And so we have some folks who are readmits who show up tonight, but everybody else, I won't have to task stream. You don't have anything in task stream. No, we keep task stream forever. It's in perpetuity. So if you do have to exit the program, everything stays in task stream, and when you come back, it's still there. You pick up where you left off. I do an audit and move you through that. But we hope that you will stay with us all the way through. Now, if you have to, as soon as you know you need to get out, let me know, and we'll get you withdrawn so that we can save you as much money as possible and get you back as easy. If you don't do any work, we don't hear from you. And so then you get an F, then you got to sit out for a year. So the question is there a Word version? Yes, there is a Word version of these handbooks that have the logs. You'll get those. They'll be in your shells. We send out the PDF version, but yes, there's Word versions. They'll be in your shells. Under the handbooks, if they're not there, they'll be there later this evening.
Dr. Lamb, Jacqueline's in my class as well, so I will be working with you with her.
So if there's anything in TaskStream, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Now remember, TaskStream, this is for everybody. So once you put it in there, it's there, but we don't put pieces and parts in TaskStream. We only put completed evidences in TaskStream. So if it wasn't completed and evaluated, it won't be there. And so you'll have to go back and find your file. Your PLC at your school will be other folks. It won't be your classmates. Your PLC that you formed to start your app cell, you form that at your school. You got to get 2 or 3 other people that will be on the PLC with you. Be folks from your school, because it now this is live fire. We're going to actually dig into your data at your school. This is not theoretical. We don't do anything theoretical. We're going to form a real PLC. You're going to do a data analysis of your standardized scores at your school, for real. And sometimes that makes people uncomfortable, but it's all public information. If you can't stand for, and you're going to be working with teacher working condition surveys as well. TWCs and standardized testing, all these things, parent surveys. It's all, if it's in the public domain, we grab it. Now, sometimes you say, well, it kind of embarrassed my administrator. Well, I always heard bit dog hollers the loudest. I mean, if you're embarrassed, and y'all do something about it. That's what we're trying to do, is teach you how to do something about it, so you don't have to be embarrassed when you go to work. Now I'll say this, and because my time is drawing near here. If you're one of those people who think that test scores don't adequately reflect what a kid knows, and alternative assessments, and that report cards and test scores and those kinds of things don't matter, if you're one of those people, my advice to you is get out of this program now. Get out now. School administration is about achievement, period. And we keep score. And you will get a job and continue in that employment only if you can produce, only if you understand that it's about student achievement. If you don't think that you ought to be assessed on your kids' scores at your school, if they make growth or not, or how well they're doing, or that teacher working condition survey is not an accurate reflection, you won't make it. This is a competitive business. It's about making a good number go up, like test scores, or a bad number go down, like discipline referrals and suspensions. That's your job as a school administrator. It's a highly competitive business, and they will evaluate you, and that data is out there. And if you think, well, test scores don't matter, this is not your business. This is not the line of work for you, because every school gets a report card, and everybody in the community knows what you did or didn't do. And the superintendent knows as well. And if it doesn't go well from you, you're going to have one of those critical conversations, what used to be known as the come to Jesus meeting with the superintendent. And that will not go well. So if you need to understand right now that school administration is about student achievement, period. That's the beginning and the end. It's not about providing jobs for people. It's not about making teachers happy or their lives comfortable. None of those things. Those can be byproducts. But school is about student achievement, period.
And
You got to
Dr.
get your
Lamb,
head around that. We'll try to change your lens. We'll change your lens. It'll be okay.
right. And one of the things you need to remember is, and we don't mean any disrespect by this, it really doesn't matter what you think, it's what the research says. It doesn't really matter, you can have an opinion about something, but sometimes, you just keep it in this, over the next 3 semesters, what does the research say? What does the data prove? That's what it's all about. What does the law say? What does policy say? So that's where we are over the next year with you.
Yeah, we follow law and policy, but we've always done it that way. Well, that's what I heard a fellow say in the unemployment line. We used to do it that way all the time. You got to follow law and policy. It's all about achievement. It's about what the research says. It's about what the data says. We're very cut and dried on that here. And I think that's why our folks get it and they do well on the job because, we try to be as humanistic as possible. And we like this. We like this work. We love working with students. But now we would be negligent in our duty if we told you that stuff doesn't matter, because it does matter. If it didn't matter, we wouldn't keep score. We wouldn't spend all this money on assessment, these millions of dollars on assessment programs, publishing state report cards, putting out, the teacher working condition survey and the advanced ed survey or the cognitive survey that South Carolina does. I mean, there's a reason why we collect this data. There's a reason why we keep score. School administration is about student achievement, period. And it's kind of hard to change your lens. It sounds fairly easy, but it's kind of hard to change your lens sometimes. But we'll work with you on that. That's going to be one of our biggest goals, is to change your lens, where you begin to see things from the outside the borders of your classroom. Now we want great teachers to be in this program, because that's where it all starts, is with great teaching. And then, we want to spread that great teaching, that those quality people throughout the building. It's all about teaching and learning. That in the end is it. I see our hour is up. Go to class this week, learn something from your instructors, pay attention, take notes. It'll all work out. That they're all here to help you. Call, email. That is my cell phone number. It does ring directly to me. I will answer my phone. Now, except between the hours of 12:30 a.m. and 4:30 a.m., I will answer my phone. You can call, you can text, you can email. We'll get right back to you. If you hadn't heard from me in a couple hours, email again. That means it got hung up in the system. That happens from time to time. But we'll get back to you. These folks will work with you. I'll join in on some coaching sessions this semester to see how you're doing. And then those of you who are an add-on, you'll have me or part of my crew next semester. And if there's any hide left on you after 601, we'll take the rest of it off at 603. Trust me.
Dr. Lamb, let me
we'll get
remind
the
them too, over the next 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to say sometime, well, I just heard that last week. You're going to hear things repeated over the next 3 or 4 weeks. And we do it because we're supposed to. So if you've heard it and you got it, then good. Sometimes somebody else didn't get it. So we will repeat things. But we'll do it in different ways. Just like when we teach on Tuesday night, we'll do something, but then on Thursday night, you may get some of the same stuff, but it'll be somebody else, and they will be condensing it in a different way so that we can ensure that over the next 3 or 4 weeks that you've got the foundation that you need to be successful. So
That is correct. All right. We try to stay on time, try to start on time and end on time. So we're through. We'll see you all hopefully in class this week, or I'll see you around. Call, email. Welcome to Gardner Webb. Thank you for choosing us. God bless you all. Have a good evening.
we'll see you at 7 tomorrow.
Thank you.